Today we're going to talk to all of them about how and why they are taking their energy, their time, their talent, their vision, and going into other mediums. A lot of us have heard it said that, you know, TV is a more exciting medium than movies these days, and frankly, that's because people like Jane Campion and Mike White are making TV series. We have heard that, you know, original content created for the web is going to be a huge force in entertainment going forward, and that is because people like Richard Linklater and Justin Lin are creating web series. So has your opinion of television changed a lot over the years?
I mean, from just making it, I've just got so much respect for people working in TV, because you have to work so fast, and ours wasn't really fast. So we did 90 minutes in 4.5 weeks, and you know, I was like panicking. I was going, oh, you know, the other director's much younger. He should be doing all the hard stuff, you know. This is behind the door, you know, my producer. Come on, he can run up the mountains. I don't want to have to do that. He should do all the stunts, you know. I'll do the sensitive stuff in the bedroom.
And Mike, how do you compare working in film and working in television?
Working at HBO is, I don't know, it feels like it's hard to draw conclusions about TV in general, because you can do what you want, they give you the money, and then they make noise with it.
On Yum Yum F, you guys really are breaking new ground as far as series go, but you're really telling, the people who contribute to the network are often telling stories in 7.5-minute increments, which is a fairly new thing. And what have you learned about storytelling in that way, and what do you tell people when they bring projects to you looking to get them airtime?
YouTube is YouTube, and you know, the relationship that, you know, these guys have with their audience is so intimate. The 7.5 minutes could be 2 minutes, it could be 1 minute, it could be 30 seconds. I feel like the one thing I didn't want to do was to make a TV show, because we don't have the budget or the resources to even match. So we should take what we have and embrace what we have, and that's kind of the philosophy.
Mike, how does it impact your work, the fans?
Are there fans?
Yes, there are.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think the fans want. I don't read it be like the fans want Amy to fall in love with a vampire, or, you know, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure that's what they want, actually.
Yeah, they probably do.
Richard, did when you create a character or a story out of whole cloth, generally, where does that idea come to you, and then how do you sort of develop it?
It depends on the idea. I like to service the idea, not to chase it, you know. I don't want to go to a studio and beg them to make this movie. I want them to want to make the movie, and if they don't want it, fuck it, I'll go somewhere else and do it.
How do you sort of invite that muse to come in?
I became friends with Shirley MacLaine, and like she wanted me to go to do a past life regression therapy. I laid on this table, and this woman did like a cranium. She was like, had real shock white hair and all in white, and then she rubbed my head, and some image came into my head, and it was like, I see a body being thrown off a boat. And she's like, yes, tell me the thing. Like, yeah, I could go on. But anyway, basically out of it came like this whole story of like how I was, you know, my father was like the captain of the ship, and I had this buddy, and we would run around and hide on the boat, and then my buddy got sick, and then he died, and then they threw the body off of the thing, and I remember seeing the body being thrown off the boat. At the end of it, I was like, you know, like I was like, I feel like I'm like just making this up, and she's like, well, where does the imagination come from anyway, right? And it's like, it's a good point. I mean, I don't know.
I just wanted to hear what you think about episodics and how important character arcs are.
People first started interviewing me about my films, and they'd say, so, you know, how did you come up with the character? And I think, like, what character? I don't know what they're talking about. It's like, I honestly didn't understand that there were character arcs.
Yeah, what does that mean? That's such a construct. That's such a bullshitty 101 screenwriting, Hollywood. Let's face it, that's awful.
I think if you
and
think
it's fake.
You think about your own life.
People talk in those terms.
Yeah.
When you hear stakes, what are the stakes? Run. You know, when you hear, oh, where's the...
I mean, Richard, how's your character arc going, your life, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you when it's over.
Yeah.
Could you talk about the importance of your protagonist being a likable and sympathetic character, or if that's not important at all?
What are the qualities that make someone likable? That's the subjective thing. It's like, it's got to be, as a director, it's like, well, I find them compelling, and here's who they are. And you work that out with the actor, and, you know, there's no such rubber stamp likable. That's, ugh.
A lot of other people are invested in that question. Usually your producers. Like, that is the one thing you keep hearing people. Are they going to be likable? This person hasn't smiled. Like, you know, this person has not smiled yet. Have you noticed that? They're not smiling.
It's actually my experience in TV. That was the first time I got into this, like, going into meetings with, like, likability and what character. And it was interesting. There was this one character that was saying, well, people don't like her. And I'm like, well, it was written so that people wouldn't like her, you know? And it was interesting that they're, like, doing these tests, and the answer's right there.
We're talking about all the great stuff about TV, but, you know, network television still is like this very, they hated good reviews. I had meetings where, like, people were like, I had to promise them that I wasn't going to try to get good reviews with the show that they were deciding about whether to pick up. Freaks and Geeks is this, it's a very, like, atypical type of thing that somehow that show has had a much longer shelf life than, you know, most of these shows that fall by the wayside. But it fell by the wayside because nobody liked it at the time, and nobody watched it. So I don't know what the lesson from that is.
With those words of wisdom, thank you, all of you. It's a real honor to be here with you.